We're back, folks. Gonna play some Wolfenstein, follow up where we left off. So we got hooked up with our girl. Now we broke into the prison. So now that we're trying to find the resistance. So once we find the resistance, we'll see where we can go and what we can do. See if we can have a little bit of fun. See how I heard this is a pretty difficult level from some people I've played games with me, part of my group, part of the Brewski gaming crew, and we'll go through and see how it works out. But we are playing on Uber, so we'll see how that fares for us. Evolution durch Wissenschaft und Krieg. So I did take German in high school, and I worked for, I did my internships in college for BMW, so spent a lot of time with the German language, which I thoroughly enjoy. I think it's really cool that this game's so immersive with the language. You don't hear people, I mean, you get the subs on the bottom, but the language actually spoken is in German, which would be the case if this had actually gone the way it gone. No good. I don't know that we've had that problem before. I'll got my laser gun. Whoop! Didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. Eisen, Stein und Stahl. Wir stehen geschlossen. Rot. What have you seen up here?
Gefangene, vergessen Sie nicht, dass Sie bei jeglichem Widerstand gegen Umerziehungsmaßnahmen der umfassenden Gewalt des Strafvollzugs ausgesetzt werden. Ihre Pflichten im Strafvollzug. Sie befinden sich hier als Folge Ihres Handelns. Leisten Sie Ihre Strafe mit Würde ab.
Schlag dich windelweich! Los, komm schon! Hey, komm zu mir, Feigling!
Vergessen Sie nicht, dass der Besitz verbotener Waren automatisch eine Strafverlängerung nach sich zieht. Vergessen Sie nicht, dass unerlaubter körperlicher Kontakt zwischen Häftlingen automatisch eine Strafverlängerung nach sich zieht.
Oh, there's a guy walking around up here.
Komm schon!
Gotta be the laziest bunch of guards the world has ever seen.
Gotta do it. Oh, I'm drowning him in. Oh. That was brutal. That was brutal. That was brutal.
Ich zerquetsch dich! Na komm schon!
Shoot people with it now. Oh, goodness. Silent too, I bet. And we're running. Not a happy Panzer Hunda.
denn nie auf?
Hast du mal Zitronenkaffee versucht? Der wirkt
Lemon
wunderbar. Meine Schwiegermutter
coffee.
mal empfohlen.
Zitronenkaffee.
Stick with my vanilla.
Glaubst du wirklich, dass das hilft? Das ist ja ekelhaft. Weißt du, was das Schlimmste in dem Ganzen ist? Jetzt hat's auch unsere Kinder erwischt. Bevor wir hergezogen sind, waren die alle noch in Ordnung, frisch und munter. Aber in diesem Stadtteil, das ist die Stadtregierung, die verarscht uns. Mit dem Beton, da ist etwas nicht in Ordnung.
Du nimmst eine Hälfte Zitronensaft und eine Hälfte schwarzen Kaffee. Das sagt sie. Treibst du eigentlich Leibesübungen jeden Tag in frischer Luft?
Glaubst du das wirklich? Glaubst du wirklich, dass das in Ordnung ist? Das ist eine
Alles in Ordnung
spezielle Fabrik, von der dieser ganze Teufel... Merkwürdig.
Something's not right. They're talking, but I can't hear them.
Komisch.
Komisch.
Alter, wo gehst du hin? Ja, hallo, wer weiter? Wer ist einer?
Me too.
There, B2. Time to let the monsters out of the cage. Please stop like animals. Goddamn animals.
Deep inside yourself. There, inside, is a mountain in the fog. Do you see it? Playing in the distance. Striking. There is a pale moon, mountain, and the moon.
Could somebody help me get this? Gosh almighty. I thought I was a goner. And here you are, back from the dead, to save us all. Imagine that. Oh, what have you been up to, Captain Blazkowicz?
Shooting, stabbing, strangling Nazis. Ready to set things straight, Wyatt.
Fantastic. Well, let's get out of here, shall we? Hey! You close that door! All right, let's get to work.
Blazkowicz! Is there a way into the vent duct up there? Possibly a way out?
Time to go, Captain. Let's get out of here together. Come on, this way. Cap, can you pick this lock? My fingers won't work right. They've been chained up for too long. Thank you, sir. Gosh, he picked a heck of a time to show up. Heck of a time. Not many of us left still fighting since the war ended, you know. It's been rough. We get out of here alive, things are going to change, Captain Blazkowicz. They got it. Reinforcements to bring the hammer down on this whole city block. This way, Captain! Wait! Wait! Oh, Jesus! There's a Panzer hut out there. If we run like heck, I think we can make it. Follow me! Come this way, Captain! That's right! I think we can pull this off if we work together. Cover me while I open the gate! Take the lead, Captain! I'll be right behind you! I'm heading over to open the next gate! We can make it! We just keep going! Shoot!
Yeah.
Take the lead, Captain! I'll be right behind you! I'm heading over to open the next gate! Stay sharp, Cap! We can make it! We just keep coming! We're doing it! We're getting out of here!
the other side of this gate! I need you to cover me!
That was a little bit much. I was being a little aggressive there. Ooh.
Come on! Gotta keep fighting!
Ready for that. Ugh.
Come on! Gotta keep fighting! Hey! Captain Blaskowitz! Head up the stairs!
The hell? The hell? What the hell? What the absolute hell? Terrible.
We got this, Cap! Come on! Come on! Come on!
Who's shooting me? Alright, get a little bit frustrating. Whew, that was pretty ridiculous.
Shoot them! I'll steal us a car! I got the engine running! Thor! We gotta get out of here! Found a car! Let's roll! Just drive up the stairs! Past the big window! Come on!
Crafty, loyal, tenacious.
Got it! Got it open, Captain! Quiet, you! What now?
I can't believe you made it out of there.
Here we go. We're out, folks. Out of the prison. A little bit of crazy driving there at the
Do
end.
any of you know how to hotwire a car? Oh, good. Please tell me you know where to go.
Taking you home! There's cameras all over the city. They're tracking us no matter where we go. Nighttime will be easier, with more options. A daytime entrance into the Kreisau Resistance headquarters is not advisable in the least. Never been attempted as far as I know. But the skies seem clear. No one's following us. I think we can make a little history today. This is a two-part maneuver. Done right, we should head perfectly into a blind spot. Everybody ready? Go! Now! Run! The good thing about the Nazis is they really are stupid. So long as we're hidden by this mist, no one will see us. Now, for the second part, the jump. Once we're underwater, hold your breath, swim after me. Stay submerged no matter what happens. There are Nazis all around. If you break the surface, they will kill us. Don't hesitate. Jump!
Guys are like super soldiers. Hold that breath.
I'm so sorry. There was no break in front of that hatch when I left. I've been in prison for long. Shouldn't have stood. Great job job keeping us alive out there, Captain. It's good to be home. Climb up over there, Captain.
Hold me, I'm freezing.
Max, oh, feelings mutual, Max.
Put them down, Max. Gently.
Whoa, stand down. This is Klaus. He's one of us. He was a Nazi before, but he's on our side now.
Where is he, Johnny?
How is this possible? We are in the very center of Berlin. You're hiding in a plain sight.
It's the last place they would look out.
Will they not hear us?
Best to keep your voice down then, yeah?
Fuck me. B.J. Blazkowicz. I should have known only you would be dumb enough to do a daytime entry.
Yeah.
Glad to have you back, Vite.
Caroline, you're alive.
If you call shitting in a bag living, 3 pulverized vertebrae. You?
Head trauma, 4 inches of cast iron shrapnel right in the conch. Still in there.
Severed colon, septic shock, shattered pelvis.
Memory loss, flashbacks, 14 years in a loony bin.
Good to see you, William. So, what can you do?
For your collection, Jay. Wow, so happy to see you, man. What's it been, 3 months since they hauled you away? Thought you were dead, actually. They send people off to that prison, they don't come back, you know? It's a trip, and you brought some new cats with you, actual reinforcements. It's cool, man.
I am hearing interesting things out of London. I have a folder marked Project Whisper, but someone has borrowed it. Klaus, I believe it was. Can you find it and bring it to me, would you please, Captain? Now that you are here, I think we can do great things. Why don't you sit with me, Miss Anya? Listen in on these frequencies. Anything out of London, make a note of the time and write down as much as you can. Here is a pen.
Major defeat yesterday, battle over Liverpool. The major losses reported on those sides. The Royal Air Force forced to retreat after losing more than 2/3 of their fighters, but even when faced with overwhelming odds, our brave boys in the skies continue to fight for king and country. The fighting spirit may be what constitutes the very essence of Englishness. Us Englishmen, we fight until the very end, said a corner shop owner trying to put out a fire raging inside St. Luke's Church. And I'll be damned if I'll let some Jerry come here and tell us what to do. This man channeling the spirit of RAF pilot Jameson. Jameson was shot down above Liverpool yesterday, burst out of his burning wreckage, his body on fire and armed only with a pistol, killed 4 German paratroopers before finally succumbing. So even as the enemy stands at our doorstep, the Royal Air Force go hell and back to kick them out of England. Jolly good boys.
Can I do typewriter?
Earlier this week, a German submarine was sunk in Cabot Strait, just a few miles off the coast of Cape North. Today, hundreds of ships crossed the Atlantic, and the first German troops set foot upon Canadian soil. Now is the time to be brave, said the Prime Minister's emergency radio broadcast. Now or never, boys at the front line need your support to defend our homeland, defend our freedom.
You know how to. Yes.
This is a devastating defeat for the Red Army when German flag was raised on the western side of the Volga this morning. In a statement of our reporter on site, Field Marshal Fedor Koiter, said there is not only thanks to our hardworking dedicated troops, also the result of a new weapons deployed for the first time battle. The Panzerhund is a mechanical, autonomous beast of war that cannot feel fear, cannot feel remorse. It is the purest form of killing machine, will tear Russians apart limb by limb. Moscow. The cold Russian winter bites hard, but one cannot tell looking at the rosy, smiling faces of the victorious German army and the liberated Russian people. Last battle against the Red Army took place in Izhevsk, following their month-long campaign to see the Russian capital, a campaign which, after numerous setbacks and hundreds of civilian casualties, caused the Russian people to turn against their own army. With nightly bomb raids by German Air Force and Red Army's military factories in the Ural region, it was merely a matter of time before the Russian forces would start to lose their morale. The murderous tyrant Joseph Stalin is yet to be found, but there are rumors circulating that he may have been assassinated by his own men.
Parents, the Russian man.
People's Liberation Army within hours, Republic of China surrendered unconditionally. Experts commented that the Japanese government now have no choice but to give up their territory claims in Asia. Sources close to Field Marshal claim that plan is being drawn upon for both China and Japan, which will transition the two countries into servant states. With separate governments and military, these states will, of course, be separately governed by the superior German Empire. Early morning, a small group of prisoners escaped from Eisenwald prison. The prisoners described by the police as highly dangerous murderers, rapists, and degenerates. They advised the public to stay clear, alert for people displaying deviant behavior and report anything that may help them track down these individuals. If blessed by the sun, the German flag hung this morning over Buckingham Palace to mark the end of a tyrannical monarchy which has plagued the English people for centuries. Field Marshal Gerolf Feigenbaum, who led the British invasion, cautioned that armed resistance is to be expected, but the majority of British people soon realized now they've been fooled by the British government's warmongering leaders. Following the surrender, the whole of the Commonwealth now falls under German rule, and remaining armies have been ordered to stand down. The Red Army were forced to retreat last night from Moscow, engulfed by flames. Following a week-long German bomb raid, the barrage of mortar fire heard throughout the night and well into early Thursday morning seems to have obliterated what's left of the Empire City. As of yet, there's been no confirmed whereabouts of either Joseph Stalin or his high command.
It was useful during my time at the University of London for my doctorate.
Leave me alone, all right?
I'll be Brown.
I don't know you.
Jay.
I'm not looking to make friends.
Well-maintained workbench.
Please. People are around. What's this damn noise?
Are you deaf?
Jerk.
You can find Klaus on the second floor. He should have the folder for Project Whisper.
Max, ich suche schon die ganze Zeit nach dem Hammer. Hast du ihn gesehen?
McDawes!
Must be Max's room. What is Max hiding in there? Is that the Project Whisper folder? Either need a crowbar or find a way around.
Paramount with the People's Liberation Army as the Japanese were pushed back into the Hubei province. Yet from the north, another dark man's purposes with German armies overthrown the brave Russian Empire towards China. During a rousing speech earlier today, the chairman spoke of his faith in Chinese people. A unified China cannot be defeated. A unified China cannot be conquered. A unified China will never surrender. Rolling Stone, Christmas Eve, the President of the United States, the government's total surrender to the German army. The announcement comes just days after the atomic bomb was dropped on New York. This final act of violence may have saved millions of lives that would have resulted from a land invasion of America, said the German leader in a press statement following. I applaud the President for taking such a brave decision. After the President's speech, a spectacular show was put on by the invading troops, bringing down the streets of Washington to the roaring sound of German jet fighters passing by. Even the more spectacular were the massive mechanical beasts known as Panzerhunden, or armored dogs, hulking over the crowds. Sorry, folks. Strange feeling of serenity comes over me as I walk morning promenade on Unterdale. Linden. First, I struggle to understand where this feelings come from, why I haven't felt it for so long, and then it hits me. For the last 6 months, there's been no terrorist activity, no ruthless killing sprees against innocent civilians, no car bombs in peaceful neighborhoods, no suicide attacks on public transport. Has the secret police once and for all won the crime against terrorism? Spirit rises in the shadow of a mushroom-shaped cloud that has produced Germany's evil autumn bomb when it hit New York. Sales of freedom fighters have simmered across the country and are kicking up arms. Through targeted attacks on German VIPs and bombings of crucial military installations, the American resistance is making it very difficult for the invaders to remain in control. Reports claim that German invaders have become so desperate they're shipping elite anti-rebel units from China to prevent the insurrection from spreading. Eyewitness accounts also describe mass executions of civilians as punishment for attacks performed by freedom fighters. The Honorable German Peace Troops embarked on a nationwide victory tour this week. The goal of the operation is to liberate oppressed American people and protect them for dangerous insurgent elements. All remaining American military are advised to stand down and report in the nearest German checkpoint. Once there, they will issue a labor card assigning them to work on rebuilding the country according to the superior culture standards of the new regime. So we must face the bitter truth. We, the Italian people, have been fooled into thinking that our northern ally will be our country's salvation and collaborator in rebuilding Italy to its former glory. Reports from the north are coming in describing German tanks and infantry turning against our soldiers and attacking our own people. Witnesses describe horrible scenes of whole villages burnt and plundered. We are now just days away from a complete invasion, and our weak government is incapable of doing anything about it. I advise all Italians not to surrender. Do not bow down to the will of the invaders. Rise up and take arms. Do whatever you can to take back tyranny. Rise for your freedom. Americans are on their knees, Field Marshal Franz Gustav Bayers told the gathered reporters during today's the superior German submarine fleet, accompanied by its loyal Japanese allies, helped Germany achieve a major victory in the Pacific, with more than half the American fleet destroyed in the Battle of Lake Gulf alone. Thanks to the ingenuity of German engineers, the Great Wall of China has been reinforced and upgraded by our benevolent German liberators. Hundreds of powerful automatic flat cannons have been installed along the wall, guarding the airspace from any potential invaders from Mongolian territories. Elite German troops have also been stationed from one end to the other to guard the border. This is a great act of generosity bestowed by our benevolent liberators, symbolically marking the beginning of a new era of peace in Asia. I didn't read that one. Fair to say there's some sort of poetic justice. Reports from our resistant friends in Berlin say that a new type of mold spore has started infesting structures made out of super concrete used by the regime. It started festering in the massive underground ventilation system and spreading throughout the city. Friends of the resistance, this could be a major advantage. The mold seems to corrode the stability of the camp and make it easier to destroy structures that are important to the regime in Berlin.
Oh, it's so good to be home, Captain. You know, I think I might need to catch some Z's. Yep.
Max, I really need you to step aside. Max, bitte. Geht zur Seite. Das ist wichtig.
Max, komm her! Komm an! Alles in Ordnung. Alles wird gut sein. I'm sorry. I should have known you would have taken it.
awesome. It's pretty cool. Can you just do it over and over again? No? Can only do it the once? Well, that's dumb. Be a little more careful. Aw, well, I'd have been more careful if I'd have known that. Well, darn. I didn't get it. Excuse me. Excuse me, chat. I can do it again now. My legs, my legs, my legs. This sucks. I'd have been more careful. Damn it.
Much obliged, Captain Blaskovich. You ready for an assignment? Friends and comrades, this is it. Project Whisper. It's been in development for years. A helicopter aircraft. The Nazis have found a way to make it virtually silent in flight and undetectable by means of radar. Anya has decrypted the Nazi chatter out of London and located the only 3 prototypes in existence at the London Nautica research facilities there. With Captain Blaskovich on the team, we are finally strong enough to strike at the operations. The days of scurrying like rats are over. With these machines in our possession, we can go anywhere, hit anything. We will rebuild the Kreisau Circle, arm ourselves to the hilt. We will rise up and take down Death's Head for good. They think the war is over, that we are weak, beaten, don't have the guts to oppose them. And as always, they are wrong.
I've got a 14-hour drive. I've got a sinus infection. I haven't had a full night's sleep in 8 months. So let's go, people. Because I'm not doing this again.
Thank you for doing this, Bob.
Stop. I just want to get this over with.
Andy! Beruhig dich! Sponsern! Die Papiere bitte. Danke. Sie können passieren. Herr Littler!
Oh, Hitler. Fucking Nazi twig. This big fucking disgrace of a building is the London Nautica. This used to be downtown London. Used to be fighting in the streets over here. I mean, furious, unrelenting resistance. And then the Nazis brought in the London Monitor and everything went to shit from there. They just do whatsoever they please now. They just fucking leveled everything and erected this fucking monstrosity. It's a top Nazi research facility, this is. Aviation, space, all kinds of evil shit transpiring. Caroline and the other pilots should be over the radio tower by now, you see it. Anya's operating the radio back in Berlin. You can reach him using this. This is where you get off. So long, Blazkowicz. You make this count, all right?
Oh shit!
It's all up to you now, Blazkowicz. We are moving into position at the top of the radio tower, approximately 7 blocks from your location. You'll have to find a way to the top floor of the Nautica and open the hangar doors. That way me and the other pilots can get inside.
Oh, it was so brutal.
Up ahead is the reception area. I want you to go to the far end of the reception area, through the large doorway, and into the moon dome. You do this race, Blazkowicz.
funny.
Bobby's test will not be in vain.
No sign of the London monitor. We might be okay, assuming we don't crash our hang gliders.
Was not ready for that at all. At all. there's not a good way to do this yet. We got big Roby guy in the front. I think I'm just gonna have to play down at the bottom of that and let them all come to me from that direction, but I don't know, there's not a good place for cover. So the coal miners Reichsgau-Britannien announced today that they were very pleased with the new labor regulations set by London. These new regulations will restrict working conditions while increasing the overall productivity of coal mining in the region. And Reichstadt Neumann interviewed. A group of coal miners confirmed their satisfaction. It's good that our leaders think about our health, said father of two. Things have really changed for the better since the war. Right. It's got to be underneath us. Marksman rifle. One more somewhere up here. There we go, we got it. Gotta be up here. I was everywhere over that. Up here, I'm gonna be upset. police are seeing a trend of diminishing crime rate in London quarantine blocks. It's quite safe now for the citizens in the quarantines to take a stroll down the street, said Police Chief Bruno Winkler. Murder cases are at a historic low. He added that the benevolent treatment of the citizens by the new regime has had a positive effect on the decent folk of the city. We're also seeing an increased number of reports filed on deviant behavior, both neighborhoods and family members alike. Oh, so you've gotten to the point where you're turning families against each other now. But all is well in fairy tale land. Not quite sure what happened there. Not quite sure.
Hopefully the elevators haven't suffered any damage from the blast.
Ganz mieses Gefühl bei der Sache. Nochmals, keine Angst. Diese Aufzüge sind dafür ausgelegt, alle Katastrophen zu überstehen. 4 Stück. Meinst du, die fallen alle gleichzeitig aus? Sei nicht so ein Feindlicher, nochmal! Und was zur Hölle war das? Klingt, als wäre jemand oben auf dem Aufzug.
Shooting the brakes off an elevator. What could go wrong? Better stand on the counter.
What could go wrong? Did I just kill myself? I did.
Hopefully the elevators haven't suffered any damage from the blast.
It was obviously not the right thing to do. That was just shitty. Why was it in my left hand? I was so lost.
Hopefully the elevators haven't suffered any damage from the blast.
Just wasting stuff. That hurt. It has to do with what pull you're on the rope. That's why.
Klingt, als wäre jemand oben auf dem Aufzug. Vielleicht sind sie hier, um uns zu retten.
Shooting the brakes off an elevator. What could go wrong? Better stand on the counterweight.
How do you stand on the counter? Obviously, I didn't do the right thing again. said stand on the counterweight. There's nothing fucking to stand on. What?
Hopefully the elevators haven't suffered any damage from the blast. Hopefully the elevators haven't suffered any damage from the blast. Hopefully the elevators haven't suffered any damage from the blast.
What the fuck?
Hopefully the elevators haven't suffered any damage from the blast.
I don't get it. It's fucking stupid.
Hopefully the elevators haven't suffered any damage from the blast.
is supposedly the counterweight. Makes sense, I guess.
Keeping the brakes off an elevator. What could go wrong? Better stand on the counterweight.
Well, that did it.
I think I found something.
What do you see?
Ancient artifacts. Highly technological in nature. Parchment. Looks like Hebrew. I think the Nazis are trying to reverse engineer all this stuff.
Are there any identifying marks?
Doth? You should. Dog, Abel, apostrophe. Abel, Tara, space, yoke, item, Charlie, Hal, Uncle Dog.
Might be something in our archives, Anya. See if you can find any references to Dot Yishud.
Will do. Be careful out there.
I like her, Blaskovitz. Good catch. Be sure to bring as much of this Dot Yishud stuff as you can carry.
Will do.
One of the key figures in computation, Dr. Ernst Brandt was the inventor of the first AI system used in one of General Strauss's war machines, the Panzerhund. Now his gaze is fixed on the next challenge, the creation of the smartest non-human intelligence in existence. There are many benefits for society if such an artificial being could be created, said the soft-spoken doctor to us when we met up with him last week in Modern School of Computer Science in Brussels. Not least because it can help us automatize the process of determining who is decent and who is not. It is a tantalizing thought indeed, which is why General Strauss has granted Brandt an increased funding to research his project. Such horseshit. Oh, that's my gun. Anything else twinkling, or I got them all? anything I can do up here? Whoops.
About 2 floors up is an access point leading directly into the hangar. You should be very close. The hangar is where the Project Whisper helicopter prototypes are kept.
Hi. New paper release today results of recent research in animal hybridization by a group of biologists in London Nautica. One rule out a crocoduck in the not so distant future. Said a happy scientist when asked about the practical implications. Crocoduck. A crocoduck.
Used to be easier. You didn't have big honking robots, and I had an army.
Alright. Next death, we're going to call it a night because it's 11 o'clock.
There's my helicopters. That's it, engineer. That's your bottom
Dum 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 dum. See where it takes me back to. Yep, that's it for the night. Thanks everybody for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, and yeah. So if you do like what you're seeing, come over and watch us live, interact, play along, get to play with us sometimes. Come watch us on YouTube at our Twitch live at Brewmeister_Beach, and join us on the Twitch app, or we have Discord server as well, whatever's easiest for you. But yeah, if you like what you're seeing, enjoy it, hit that follow button, and let you know whenever we're on playing, which is usually in the evenings during the week. A little bit earlier on Fridays, a little bit more sporadic, but off and on the weekends. But whatever you enjoy, whatever flavor you like, we're taking votes, we take choices. I got a whole mess of games that I haven't played that I get anyway, and I just haven't gotten to them, or anything else. Or hell, if you think it's a really good game, I'll buy it and we'll play it and watch it, and you can decide if that's what you want to do or not. But thanks for watching, and we'll be catching you later. Thanks, guys.